End of the line. You ever sit on a late night train and feel like you're the only one left in the world? Yeah, that's how it started. I was just another commuter, an ordinary guy, 9 to 5er, punching tickets and swallowing instant coffee dreams. My flaw? I never looked up. Always buried in my phone, in my own little screen-lit world. The world beyond that glass rectangle might as well have been a rumor. That night, the 1142 from Boston to Kittery was nearly empty. A few scattered passengers slumped against the windows, their reflections swimming in the dark. A middle-aged man with a briefcase. A girl in a denim jacket asleep with earbuds still glowing faint blue. A conductor with a tired face and a name tag I didn't bother to read. Just another Tuesday night with the ghost hum of fluorescent lights overhead. Outside, rain streaked the windows, turning the world into long silver lines that bled together as we hurtled north. The rhythm of the tracks was almost hypnotic. Click-clack, click-clack, like a heart that refused to stop beating. Then the lights flickered, once, twice. And when they steadied, everything had changed. The man with the briefcase? Gone. The girl? Gone. The conductor? Vanished. I was alone. The seat sat hollow, still warm but empty. The hum of the engine grew louder, deeper. A strange bass that seemed to pulse through the soles of my shoes. I called out, "Hello?" And my voice came back smaller, swallowed by the endless tunnel of sound. Then the intercom crackled. A voice, dry, metallic, deliberate. "Next stop, end of the line." But there's no such stop on this route. Never has been. And that was when I realized the train hadn't slowed down in a long, long time. At first, I told myself it was a dream. Had to be. A bad one. Too much caffeine, too little sleep. But when the train jolted and the lights flickered again, I felt the static prickle up my arms. Dreams don't make your skin crawl like that. The world beyond the windows was wrong. Not just dark, absent. No passing stations, no reflections, not even the blur of motion. Just a black so thick it looked alive, like ink pulsing around the train. Then he appeared. Mr. Harlow, the conductor who wasn't the conductor. His uniform looked older, dustier, like it had been hanging in a closet since the 40s. The brass buttons were tarnished, his cap tilted low over those ghostly hollow eyes. "Ticket, please." I handed it over, trying to steady my voice. He smiled, a crack of yellow teeth. "You shouldn't be here, Mr. Danner. Not yet." My heart stuttered. He knew my name, my full name. And the way he said it, like it was carved on a tombstone he'd memorized. I stumbled back. What the hell is this? Where are we going? But he didn't answer, just turned and walked down the aisle. Slow, deliberate, the sound of his shoes like nails on hollow wood. When I tried to follow, he was gone. That's when the announcements began again, sharp and distorted. Final stop approaching. All souls prepare to disembark. I slammed my fists against the emergency brake. Nothing. Dead. Tried the intercom. Static. Every door was sealed tight, the handles cold and wet like metal left out in the rain. And then I saw them. Outside. Faces. Dozens, no hundreds, sliding past the windows. Pressed against the glass, mouths open in silent terror. Some were blurred, others sharp and human, eyes wide, lips mouthing words I couldn't hear. One face, close enough to touch, looked like mine. That's when the train began to tilt, just slightly, as if gravity had changed its mind. The floor vibrated. The air grew heavy, electric. And in the reflection of the window beside me, I saw Mr. Harlow again, standing just over my shoulder. He whispered, almost kindly, "You missed your stop, Mr. Danner. But don't worry, this one's yours." The train screamed like a living thing. Metal tore against metal. The sound drilled through my skull as sparks sprayed the windows in orange fire. The cabin shuddered, pitched forward, and for one heartless moment, I thought it was splitting in two. Then, silence. The hum of motion died, the rhythmic clatter gone. The air smelled of ozone and burnt iron. I looked out the window, expecting the blur of trees or city lights, but what I saw wasn't any place on a map. The world had bled dry. Ash drifted from a colorless sky, falling slow, soft, relentless. The ground was gray sand, cracked like the surface of a dead planet. In the distance stood a platform, rotting wood, a flickering lantern, and a sign tilted at a hopeless angle. The words, carved in faded black letters, read, "End of the line." Figures waited there, dozens, maybe hundreds, all in stillness, all watching. No faces, no eyes, just outlines of people, their shapes fraying at the edges like smoke caught in wind. Mr. Harlow appeared beside me again, dust settling on his shoulders. No sound of footsteps this time, just there. "You've arrived," he said, soft as an apology. Where the hell is this? I demanded, though the words trembled out of me. Where are the others? The train, the passengers. He turned, and in his face I saw something almost human. Regret, maybe. Memory. You died at 11:42, Mr. Danner. Heart failure in your seat. The 11:42 from Boston to Kittery never made it to Kittery. It was never supposed to. No, I shook my head. No, I'm alive. I'm right here. But the reflection in the glass betrayed me. The man staring back wasn't breathing. His eyes, my eyes, were dull, hollow things. Skin pale, lips parted in a soundless plea. And when I reached up to touch the glass, his hand lagged behind, a full heartbeat late. The train doors slid open with a slow hydraulic hiss. Cold air swept in, smelling of rust and wet earth. The shadows outside began to move, stepping forward, reaching. Mr. Harlow tipped his cap. All journeys end somewhere, Mr. Danner. This one just came sooner than you expected. And behind him, through the storm of ash, I saw something waiting. A figure that looked exactly like me, already standing on the platform. Mr. Harlow stood before me, still as a gravestone. The ash around us swirled in lazy spirals, clinging to his coat. He reached into his breast pocket and pulled something out, my ticket. Only it wasn't the crumpled slip of paper I'd handed him before. It was dark now, as black as wet ink, and warm in his gloved hand. He pressed it into my palm. The letters glowed faintly, shifting under the soot. Danner, Elias, transfer. You can't stay, he said, voice low but firm. The line ends here for most, but sometimes. He looked past me toward that endless gray plain. Sometimes a soul boards the wrong train. Sometimes there's still a way back. My throat tightened. You mean I can leave? He gave the faintest smile. Not leave. Decide. The platform door slid open with a groan, revealing the wasteland beyond. The air shimmered, trembling like a mirage. I could hear it, soft at first, then swelling. A chorus of whispers, layered and endless. They were calling names, thousands of them. Some I almost recognized. And beneath it all, one voice, small and human, whispering mine. The train lights flickered again. The seats around me began to dissolve, the metal frame turning to dust. Shadows, those waiting figures, stirred at the edges of vision, stretching long arms toward the door. The moment was collapsing. I turned to Mr. Harlow. If there's another chance, why me? He tilted his head, and for the first time, I saw something like compassion in those dim eyes. Because you looked up, Mr. Danner. Most never do. The whispering rose to a howl. My reflection in the window began to fade completely, the image of my still body dimming into nothing. I felt the train tremble beneath me, not from motion, but from ending. Outside, the ash glowed white-hot, blinding. I took one last look at Harlow, his figure steady against the storm. He lifted his cap in a slow salute. Time to make your choice. I stepped forward. The light met me like a wave, cold, then searing. The whispers became a single voice, familiar, urgent. Someone calling me home. And then everything went white. For a heartbeat, I thought I heard the train starting up again, heading back the way it came. I woke to the beeping of a heart monitor. Steady, insistent, alive. The ceiling above me was too white, too real. Hospital lights, not train lights. My throat burned like I'd swallowed smoke. A nurse hovered over me, relief breaking across her face when she saw my eyes open. You're back, she whispered. You flatlined for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. That was all. 2 minutes of death stretched into a journey that felt like forever. I tried to speak, but my voice came out cracked. The train. She smiled, thinking I was delirious. You had a heart attack, Mr. Danner. You were lucky. You're getting another chance. Lucky. That word echoed in my skull. Lucky to breathe. Lucky to move. Lucky to still have time to look up. When the room cleared, I noticed my clothes, folded neatly on the chair beside me, and inside the pocket of my jacket something waited. A small scrap of paper, blackened around the edges. I unfolded it with trembling fingers. My name was stamped in fading silver ink. Beneath it, just one phrase, round trip. I stared at it for a long time, the machines around me whispering my borrowed heartbeat back into rhythm. Days later, when they finally discharged me, I boarded the 11:42 again. Same route, same hum, different man. I watched the world slide by, the lights, the bridges, the dark water beneath them. And for the first time, I didn't look down at my phone. But every so often, when the train slowed and the speakers crackled with static, my pulse stuttered. Just waiting, waiting for that voice. And sometimes, I swear I still hear it. Faint, lingering in the static. Next stop, end of the line. Fade to black. The train's rumble fades out like thunder in the distance. If you felt that chill, if this story pulled you into its tracks, go ahead and like this video to help others find it. It really supports the channel and helps it grow. Subscribe for more daily stories that walk the thin line between life, death, and the strange spaces in between. And hey, share this video with someone who might need a reminder to look up once in a while. Thanks for riding with me tonight. There's another story waiting for you right now. Just click the video on your screen. Until tomorrow, keep your ticket close. You never know when you'll need it again.